Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Soulstorm casts this side of East Yorkshire. And today we have got a 1 versus 1 on Meeting of Minds. Playing on the left side as the Orks, we've got XOAC 666. On the right side of the Chaos Space Marines, we've got Chronchik. Chronchik will be opening up with triple cultists, a Chaos Temple and a Plasma Generator. Whereas the Orks are going to go for triple Slugger Boys, a Grot Squad, a Generator and a Boys Hut. I fancy some Orks today. And I do love these Orks because they're all completely and totally red. I'm planning to do a Codex Edition mod, Ork video. I thought, you know what, let's warm up some Soulstorm Orks, get in the mood for it, see them maybe potentially crumping some spiky boys or spiky gits, however one wants to call them. And we are seeing a Chaos Temple with a Chaos Lord. The Orks do struggle with commanders in the early stages of the game. Their big mech doesn't really do very much damage against many kinds of commanders, with the exception of maybe, I don't know, the Tau Commander. If you get involved in close combat, but I suppose everyone does damage against the Tau Commander close combat, so Big Mech more for playing support, playing like that secondary kind of role. Do have these Slugger Boys coming over and going to bash these cultists. Normally we'd see the triple Slugger Boys capturing all the bits and bobs around the base, but no, we're seeing an aggressive opening from XOAC. You're probably mispronouncing that. Who really knows how to read words these days? But yeah, the big boys in red. And that's probably why they've gone for all red, because they're a lot faster that way, running over and decapping the strategic points. Before I imagine just turning around and crumping these gits. Go and get involved. Get your choppers right into their clavicles. The Chaos Lord is out. And rather than chasing after these guys, he will just get into range mode, as these guys will just be running straight past him. And there's a fair bit of damage. There we go. Oh, already take it. Well, about to take down one model potentially. Oh, no, he swapped his targets, bless him. Can't decide which one to shoot. Big mech over here. And he's going to attempt to shoot down that heretic. The heretic manages to golem crawl away as best he can. Oh, is that his going downhill animation? You have a different animation where you're crawling up and downhill. That's exciting. Well, what do you know? Learning a different thing every day. Every day is a school day, they say. Like I say, these guys are going to run away from the Chaos Lord, especially the Chaos Lord, considering that he's an absolute beast in close combat. Do not want to mess with that guy any day of the week. Colt is going to fire at these guys with that las pistols. Orks looking to see if they can sort out this listing purse, but already been recapped and built on. So, I mean, they've denied it just a little bit, but not a major denial going on there. Not sure if any jumping juice is left for the big mech, so might have to keep him inside the base for a little while. I can't imagine he would have teleported him down this way. Don't think that would be the wise thing to do, especially going to go down this far into the base. One heretic being bashed around, probably will get killed if the Orks are able to keep up with him. The cult is trying to tie them up. Never mind, not quite able to get that. Also been elbowed in the face to death. It's not what you want to happen. So Orks absolutely running amok. They won't be able to do much in the way of consistent damage over time as the Chaos Lord keeps them on the move, but at least preventing these two listing posts from being built up for as long as possible. And teleporting inside the base even further. Very aggressive plays. Another heretic getting killed. And that's the thing, if you can't take on the Chaos Lord, just ignore him. That's one strategy. So somehow knocking him over, not quite sure how they managed that. Maybe just an extra large pistol or slugger bullet maybe. Chaos Lord not having any of that now, doing some swishy nonsense with his mace there. A second squad of Slugger Boys. No shooter boys by the looks of things. Oh, okay, fair enough. You are just planning to go for, I assume, a quick tech up, which is interesting. Orks have got a very limited amount of openers, as I mentioned a bajillion million times on the channel. Normally you would see them go for a couple of shooter boys. Big Mech joins said shooter boys, and then they go about their wicked foul business by harassing things. But no, just keeping to Slugger Boy supremacy here. And why not? Listing posts are being upgraded one at a time. And the Slugger Boys don't exactly have the DPS necessary to cut through this listing post. Not in a cost-efficient manner anyway. We'll fall back. Big Mech already down to half health at the moment. We are seeing a good old knees up in the centre. The red banner of... This symbol always makes me think of, what's his name? The Rock but before he became cringe, back when he was really cool in the WWE, he had that belt buckle. Was that him or was that Stone Cold Steve Austin? No, Stone Cold had the skull and crossbones, didn't he? And then The Rock had the bull, I think. Maybe. It was many, many moons ago, back when it was called the WWF. Do you remember those days? When wrestling was good, before John Cena was even a thing. I haven't watched wrestling for ages, though. But that's because I've grown up. No offense if you do watch wrestling. But just know, it might not be real. Maybe it is. Who knows? Either way, the knees of us continuing, and there's no shooter boys here. It's pure melee going on. Storm boys coming out, throwing a big frag grenade into the middle of those cultists, bringing most of them down to half health. Actually, quite a cost-efficient grenade going on there. Got some Chaos Space Marines over here, and the Storm boys aren't going to be shy. They're going to go over and say hello. Get them good and proper. That heavy cover ain't going to be doing them any favours. Big Mech going to do the old dozy dirt. Chaos Lord, although they haven't really done much damage to him quickly, gradually over time, they're whittling him down. Now got that knob inside the Slugger Boy squad as well. Might want to... Actually, I don't know, maybe detaching that Big Mech is probably not the way forward, is it? May as well keep him in there. And also, when you've got a squad of... Oh, I think it's about 10 Orks, or... Is it 8 with one knob in there? No, I think it's 10 with one knob in there. They get like a general health regeneration thing when you put a Big Mech in there. The bigger the squad, the more buffs you get. That's how the Orks work. Also get a speed boost as well. Immune to morale at a certain length of time. Can never remember the actual numbers, but Jagazart does have a wonderful video explaining it on his channel. Lots of Chaos Space Marines now. And one thing they can do with the Chaos Space Marines later on in the game, when you get to that tier 3 and you've got your armor on the go, infiltration on these guys is quite useful, considering that the Orks really only have 3 detection units, and all of them are quite slow. And the Big Mech can teleport around, but like he's got one teleporter. That takes a long time to recharge. Storm Boys are screening these guys away as the Slugger Boys get to work. Do we have a Power Claw on you, young man? Yes, we do. And that is the creme de la creme of building bashing from the Ork perspective. Stick a Power Claw on a knob, and they could just wreck through most buildings quite quickly. And double Storm Boys as well. Once these guys move on forward, all these points are free real estate for them. Nice to see that these plasma generators are right in the back, where it's as safe as humanly possible. Got the machine pit on the go. Good economies are 109 and 20 compared to 110 and 40. So even with that economic damage being done, the Chaos Space Marines are still quite in the grasp of it, and both factions are in their tier 2s at the moment. Storm Boys jumping around the flanks to tie up the back lines. A second squad of Storm Boys as well going to come in, I imagine, to focus on that listening post. No, man, they're going to completely ignore it. It's all about the bashing of the infantry here. Big Mech being rebuilt. And I wonder if he's gone for his tank zapper. I imagine that'd be the best thing for him to do. Defiler on its way out. Ideal vehicle in this kind of situation. If you don't know what you go for a Chaos Space Marine plate, then the Defiler is the general band-aid to cover most unit compositions. You've got your artillery, you've got your close combat, you've also got the flamers to damage that morale. So a nice middle ground for everything there. There we go. Going to stand its ground. And those decaps are coming in. Decaps after breaking up some kneecaps. Absolutely lethal aggression from the Orks. And they've got to do it, to be honest. The Chaos Space Marines really do pop off in tier 2 when they get that machine pit and they have access to the Hell Talons. The fire's quite useful. Get an armory, maybe get some upgrades on these guys. Orks do take a little while. I do think that the tier 2 for the Orks is a little bit below the tier 2 of the Chaos Space Marines. That's probably why they're being super duper aggressive at the moment, to make sure they can't take advantage of that economy. Do have the tank busters in there. And the cultists with their shiny eyes to be able to spot any infiltrated units. But can you keep those cultists alive to spot these guys while they're being absolutely smashed around and kit-and-fisted by all these Orkses? Quick movement on these guys. Got a heavy bolter turret. In fact, 2 heavy bolter turrets down over here. Big Mech trying to slap it down, but smack bang in the middle of double listing posts with shooting bits on them. He is feeling the brunt of it. Got some slugger boys joining his ranks, but unfortunately both listing posts are focusing on the big mech there. And they're not really getting much of a cost-effective way of smacking that around. Of course, Sorcerer throwing down some purpley nonsense. And they do manage to take it down, but losing all. In fact, yeah, they're going to get squad wipe in this circumstance, so not an ideal situation for them. More Chaos Space Marines on the go. Might be an idea to see some Khorne Berserkers. Not your standard pick, but if you're going up against pure melee at this point, it's not a terrible idea. Tank Buster sneaking in, going for a decap. While the decapping, they will be spotted. But then the moment the shoe's on the other foot, they should start going infiltrate again. Oh, no, we've got Chaos Sorcerer. Never mind, that's why it can be seen. Okay, fair enough. Ignore me. Ignore me. Fire waddling its way back in. Half health at the moment. Chaos Lord still alive. And even though he's taking quite a significant amount of damage, he's still knocking Orks left and right, almost getting that Stormboy Knob. Stormboy Knob was the one that finished him. Tank Busters now are rolling in. Second Defiler. And the cultists are able to spot them. So probably want to fall back and wait for someone to sort those shiny boys out. Bring for some more vehicle cap increases. One lonely knob out in this world. It's a bit of a scrappy engagement there, Chaos. Although it doesn't look like that they should be doing alright at the moment. They are now back down to 85 blue money, but they are doing a remarkable job in the defensive capacity. With every extra Defiler that comes online, their defense will become all the easier. Especially if they can keep these Tank Busters at bay. What are the Orks planning at the moment? Are you going for any vehicles? No, you are not. You are just purely focusing on the infantry side of things. Looking for that bigger generator. Do you have tier 3 money? Not at the moment, but you do have tier 3 population. So just waiting for the money to come rolling in. And I imagine they'll be transitioning away from these Stormboys into Flashkits and Knobs. The ultimate in Orky goodness. The cream of Orc society coming together in holy matrimony. Stormboy's been chased away. And yeah, just the artillery from these Defilers. It's going to cause this infantry, or the heavy infantry even. Here comes the Knobs. Just love how everyone's just in red. There's no other colour, it's just green and red. Absolutely here for it all day long. Also got the Purge of the Week on these Chaos Space, which will massively increase the amount of DPS they can bring to the table, at the cost of taking DPS themselves. But in saying that, when they get their heavy bolters on the go, although I don't know, I think, mind you, that they've got to get that tier 3 for the plasma gun, so may as well get the heavy bolters in there while they can. Any upgrade's better than no upgrade. Now the Orcs just taking a breather. Been close combat for so long. May as well have a little rest. Also got to bear in mind that amount of micro that requires from both players is quite exhausting. Having to focus on the minutiae for 5 minutes plus, really. Take a breather. Young boys, take a rest. Chaos Army not really researching anything at the moment. I imagine they are. Yep, they are. Well, you've got a fair bit of green to play with. Oh, right, right, that's why, because you're rebuilding these listing posts. Okay, fair enough. It's not that you've squandered your green, it's just that you don't have enough blue to go with it. Yes. As you can kind of really spend blue on its own. Lots of things only cost blue money, but very few things only cost green. But I'm fairly certain in every faction, you can't buy anything purely with green money. Apart from the Necrons, obviously, because they only have green. Which makes sense. Got the combination of the grenade launchers with these cultists as well, which is very nice. The artillery and the grenade launchers knocking these guys around, getting them out of position, which allows the heavy bolters to mop them up. We'll also knock around the Storm Boys as well, so that will negate their swift movement. Very good. Going to see a mech shop now, which will certainly counter, or maybe even just add their own kind of artillery into the situation. And a fighter bomber, maybe. Fighter bomber could do a significant amount of damage to some clustered cultists. Which is a very hard phrase to say. I don't even know why I attempted that, but I was successful, so well done, mate. A fighter bomber, but I imagine it's probably going to be the war trucks and war tracks. War trucks certainly to get the knobs into close combat without all that knocking around nonsense. Got the... oh, well, oh, of course, you've got the big mech to teleport them in. Why not? And the flash kits for spotting fire. There we go. Big zap on that defiler, but no tank busters to follow up with it. Maybe... ah, there we go. There you are. Hiding in the shrubberies, in the shadows. Stormboy's also charging straight on in. You have a heavy bolter turret in support as well as a minefield just in case these guys need to retreat. Purge the weak being activated as they get a little bit of distance from the close combat squads, but not sure if maybe they could have benefited from getting a little bit more distance there. Goes as well on the sides, being left to their own devices. Knobs only engaging in range combat at the moment. So by the time they get over there, these guys will just fall back. I'm not sure if more flash kits is needed for this. Double flash kits for the range combat. The knobs just to basically charge these guys around. Or even just a war truck, like I say. That big mech teleporting in, that was a nice manoeuvre. But can't consistently keep up with these guys. Hiding in that heavy cover should keep them on the battlefield for now, at the very least. Fire up one step at a time being taken down. There we go, there's the fighter bomber, that's what we wanted to see. Very often Orks forget to go for the fighter bomber. It's an amazing piece of artillery. You wouldn't normally expect a piece of artillery to be a flying unit, but watch this guy go. Huge explosion, wonderful spread. Fair bit of damage on all those boys. Not as much as I was expecting, but we'll take it, baby, we'll take it. Another defiler being brought down to half health. Looks like the fire bomber got his own storm boys there. But the discipline of the Chaos Space Marines is holding the line and just firing as best they can. Don't know if they're going to win in a firefight against two fully fledged squads of flash kits, but we look at the Ork economy at the moment. It's looking a little bit worse for wear. They don't have enough green money to constantly reinforce flash kits, which cost 20 green to reinforce. If they can keep their numbers low, it should be alright. But fighting juice being activated on the flash kits at the moment. No dear, all these guys firing at the one single flash kit, so actually no other models are taking any damage. So very fortuitous, or serendipitous, whatever kind of word you want to use. Welcome to expanding our vocabulary with Mr. Landshark. Today we're learning multi-syllable words. And the minefield will be spotted by the big mech.
4 minutes until...
So Chaos Space Marines, what are you planning? Going for more defilers? I think defilers are up. Yeah, still build up defilers. But what would you go against these guys? I mean, are you in tier 3 at the moment? Can't quite tell. No, you need that cross, that X-Men cross to signify that you're in tier 2 at the moment. Because, I mean, in this situation, Obliterators and Possessed Marines. Possessed Marines to take on the knobs in close combat. Obliterators to try and snipe at one flash kit squad at a time, while the artillery comes down to prevent them from firing at you. That would be my thinkings, but do you have the monies for it? No. Don't have the monies to take up into tier 2. Probably spending all your money actually on reinforcing these guys. And realistically, taking up in this situation, less than ideal. Spending a lot of his money on heavy bolters. Actually, that triple heavy bolters down there, when you saw the sheer weight of the Orks coming down on you, might have been a good idea to save that money. But we're here now. The tricksy ways of the Chaos Gods. Never know which way they're going to go. Chaos Space Marines just not wanting to get a step closer, allowing their defiler ally to be defiled himself. Tank busters smooching on in. Will be spotted by some sort of... ah, there we go, the cultists are moving forward. And if they can kill the tank buster, actually moving a little bit too far forward. 4 squad wipes on them, actually. Oh, really unfortunate. They got a squad wipe over there. That Defiler could have moved forward. Very little problems coming in for it. Maybe wise as well to get a Heretic to repair these guys as well, just to keep them fighting fit on the battlefield. That way we'll have to keep on rebuilding them so you can then focus on taking all victory, but the Cultists will be decapping that, I imagine. Yes, I see, yep, so that's good. So we won't see an early end game from the Orks. So the Orks do have the lion's share of the battlefield. They've currently got the big generator. Not the big generator over here, could probably benefit from that. Good economies are 10, 5, and 39 compared to 140 and 88. Orks could really... Ah, there we go. They're going to go for some extra vehicle armor. Yeah, quite often... I mean, and I'm a massive victim of this. Whenever I play, I very much prefer going for infantry-heavy builds rather than vehicle builds. Just because the pathing is a bit of a pain for vehicles sometimes. And also, I just like it. In my head, an army should be a bunch of boys rather than a bunch of tanks and vehicles and stuff. And they can't... Like, a vehicle, like, if it dies... then it's dead. Whereas if a infantry squad, if it gets like smoked like half down to like half the models, you can always rebuild them. But then that does make you, like if you only build infantry, then you're basically ignoring half of your potential squad cap there. I think that's what the Orks are suffering from at the moment. But if they go for that extra vehicle armor, then I imagine double looted predators to help them lay siege to these Chaos Space Marines might be the idea. Chaos Predator on the way. There we go. Tier 3 has been finished. I mean, or has it always been finished? I don't know. Which Chaos Predator Tier 2? Can't quite remember. Do the Chaos Space Marines work the same way as the Space Marines in Tier 3 in the sense that their Predator is late game stuff? I can't remember. As you don't really see Chaos Predators. That's not the usual way for them to go about stuff. But I mean, flash kits, anytime that the Chaos Space Marines will bring out infantry or heavy infantry, they will melt these guys, so... a vehicle-heavy composition is the way forward, I imagine. Certainly the way forward in my books. Extra vehicle armor has been finished. And there we get the looted tanks is the idea. Also going to squeeze out a couple of extra boys with some additional war banners. Storm boys just in decapping and recapping mode for these critical locations. And the Orks, I mean, they're standing out here. They could start laying siege to this area as well, as this is... going to be a very difficult place for the Chaos Space Marines to defend. There's nowhere really for them to stand. Could all start pressuring this side as well if they wanted to. But at the moment, they're leaving the Chaos Space Marines with ample time to rebuild their forces here. Heavy bolter down the backside. Not sure if that's the idea. Yeah, I think Chronchik is falling foul to the idea that heavy bolters are going to save you against the massive units like this. It is not. I mean, maybe if you built 1 million of them, that might be an idea, but generally, it's early tier stuff when your opponent doesn't have that many. Like, early on in the game, when they put a heavy bolter here and a heavy bolter here, that was amazing, because that kept these places nice and safe from the Storm Boys. The Storm Boys are quite weak, all things considered, when they're being focus fired on. But at this stage of the game, it's not going to do you much. It's not going to do you much at all. And we are now seeing that the Orks have... Oh, quite like this. Quadruple boys' huts. We saw this the other week against the Imperial Guard and Fallen City. The Orks going for a mass of Slugger Boys. I would say as the game goes on and these listing posts start decaying, the economy will shrink for both players, but when you've got unlimited Slugger Boys, that's perfectly fine for you. And all this stuff down here was 75 pop. So they've got 25 individual models that they can add to their roster for free. It's not a bad idea at all. But in saying that, we saw the Imperial Guard push them back last time. And they do have a lot of artillery. And some Chaos Rhinos. Now, have you got any boys in there? Not at the moment, but if you stick some Chaos Space Marines in there, circumvent this area, hope that your artillery hold back the Orks, you could then start smashing up some Orc stuff. And one way to counter this unlimited Slugger Boy stuff is by killing the war banners. You can have infinite, well, you can have as much free Orcs as you want, but if you've got no squad cap for them, you can't get any more. So that would be the idea. Sneaky contingent of Chaos Space Marines. That would also force some of these guys to fall back as well. But is he going to plan for it? Slugger boys are just charging on in, but will be killed very quickly, as is the way of things. And while all that attention's going on, the looted tanks just laying siege to these guys. Doing some long-range boomy bits. Storm boys are going to come on over. Won't see that minefield there. But then going to fall back. Orks, go on, just get involved, man. Smash these guys up. Do something.
3 minutes.
I mean, it's not tactically wise to go in. If you've got the map control and you've got the critical location countdown, it's the smart thing to do. I appreciate that. But is it the orky thing to do? Would you not like to go in there and crump some of Abaddon's knobs? You know? Show those spiky boys who's what. Get some of their helmets on your boss poles. Do we have the war boss? We do have the war boss knocking around. He's in there with the boys. Also got Squig-Off as well. Ooh, 2 Ork games with 2 Squig-Offs in a row. That's don't normally see it, but it's a treat when it happens. Slugger's just been sent to the doom, sent to the death. And now the looted tanks are firing inside the base. Fire Bomber also doing the same here. Squig-Off now coming from the northern side. That Squig-Off being supported by Slugger boys. He'll be able to work his way through all these structures by himself. Now at this point, Chaos Space Marines just have a one last kind of push out. Be brave, be bold, be brash. Like the Imperial Guard did. If you don't know what I'm on about that last game, it's literally the last Soulstorm game that we did. On the thumbnail, it's got a Baneblade and a Squig-Off on it. Highly recommend watching that game because that game perfectly showcases how to deal with Orks in the late game. Just don't be scared of them. Don't be scared of them. Oh, show me who's boss. At the moment, it's just a gradual death by 1,000 cuts here. The Filer goes down. Squig-Off just doing a very slow 360 turnaround. Showing the boys his thighs, saying you can't touch these unless I touch you with them. Plasma guns on the cultists.
1 minute until
Hoping to use those against the knobs, but the knobs are just quietly just sitting back. A pina colada. And with 47 seconds left to go, Chaos Predator goes down. Defiler also on the way out. Does not look pretty for the Chaos Space Marines. And they've been spending every single penny as well. So maybe it's just a case of really unfortunately not being able to quite build up that force that they needed to. But if you did not spend your money on these heavy bolters, I mean, it could have been a case of, right, you build your demon summoning pit, right? You fill it up with what they call the pink horrors. You build 1 hell talent. You send it all the way over here, and then you summon like 4 demon units, and then just kill everything. That would then force the Orks to engage in, like, they would either have to go home and sort them out, or they would have to push on in and potentially lose a less than favourable engagement, considering that they've got to move through this narrow choke point. That would have been the play to make, maybe. Or anything. It could have been anything. But the Chaos Space Marines probably just sat back thinking, oh, holy hell, what do I do? Just stunned into inaction there. It's a bit of an anticlimactic end, but it does show that the power of the Orks in that late game stage, when they get that map control, you do not want to let them have control of that game, and that constant harassment as well, keeping the Chaos Space Marines on the back foot there. So very, very nice stuff indeed. Anyway, if you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you once a game a week, and there is also a Discord, where Discord things happen. Links in the description as always. My name's been Mr. Landshark. Pleasure as always, never short. And I'll see you in a bit. Peace.